So there's the basic, the premium, and the VIP. And each of those you can do monthly or annually. And there's also an add on for extra support. Or we could do a custom thing, whatever works best for you. And right there, the buyer stopped deciding whether to hire you and started solving a puzzle. Confused buyers don't pick the best option, they pick none. This is a way of losing the sale that feels like generosity, which is exactly why it's so hard to catch. You give the buyer too many choices. You lay out every option, every package, every possible way to work together because you want them to have freedom. And instead of freedom, you give them paralysis. This is the menu. You came to guide them, and instead, you handed them a catalog. By the end of a pitch like that, the buyer isn't excited, they're overwhelmed. And an overwhelmed buyer does not choose, they defer. Let me think about it. Is very often just a sound of too many options. Let me show you. Picture a service provider on a call. The client is ready to move forward, and the provider, wanting to be accommodating, says, "Great. So I have a few ways we can do this. There's the starter package at $1,500, the full package at $3,000, or if you want, we can build something custom. And any of those can be one payment or split into three. What sounds best?" And the client, who 2 minutes ago knew exactly that they wanted help, now has to become an expert in package structure on the spot. They have to weigh 5 variables they don't have the context to weigh. So they do the only thing an overwhelmed person can do. They say, "Let me look at these and get back to you." And they don't get back to you. The provider thought they were being generous. They were actually making the client do the provider's job. So why do we do this? Why do we offer the buffer? On the surface, it feels like good service. More choice, more freedom, more accommodating. Who could have jumped to that? But underneath, the menu is often a way to avoid the exposure of a recommendation. Because if you say, "This one, this is what you should do," you're on the hook. If you're wrong, it's on you. You're being direct, and direct feels risky. A menu spreads the responsibility. Whatever they pick, they picked it. You never had to stick your neck out and say, "Here's what I think is right for you." And here's the deeper layer. Making one clear recommendation requires you to believe your judgment is worth following. The menu quietly says, "I don't trust myself to choose for you. So here, you choose." But the buyer came to you precisely because they wanted your judgment. When you hand them a menu, you hand back the exact expertise they were paying for. So here's the fix. Make one clear recommendation. Lead with the single best option for this specific person and say why. Based on everything you told me, I recommend the full package. Here's why it's the right fit for you. One path, stated with conviction. The other options can exist, but they're not the headline. You lead them somewhere instead of stranding them at a crossroads. Now, the objection. But isn't it pushy to just tell them what to do? Shouldn't I respect their right to choose? Here's the reframe. Making a recommendation is not taking away their choice. They can always say no or ask about the other options. What you're doing is giving them a starting point, a considered opinion, the thing they came to you for. That's not pushy, that's leadership. Handing someone a menu and saying, you figure it out, isn't respect. It's abdication. Real respect is caring enough to say, I've thought about your situation and this is what I would do. Here's how you train it. For your typical client, decide in advance what your default recommendation is. Don't improvise a menu on the call. Know your answer before you get there. Then, practice the recommendation sentence out loud. I'd recommend X because Y. Say it with conviction and stop. Don't tack on the other options on as a nervous safety net. And on your next call, when you feel the urge to spread the whole menu out on the table, catch it, name it. That's my menu. And instead, make one clear recommendation. Your buyers don't want more choices. They want your judgment. Give them one clear path and watch how much faster they say yes. What you just watched is one of 5 ways people talk themselves out of a sale they already won. 5 specific patterns. 1 apologized before the ask. 1 keeps talking after the buyer was sold. 1 drops the price before anyone objected. 1 hands the buyer a doubt they never had. And 1 offers so many options they can't choose at all. Everybody runs one of them. Usually one main one and a second that shows up under pressure. And here's why that matters. If you're practicing a fix for a pattern that isn't yours, you're rehearsing the wrong fix. So I built a 2-minute quiz that tells you which one is costing you the most. It's the first link in the description. Take it, then come back and watch the video for your pattern. Say it, then stop. I'll see you there.